Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So, the headline, why can't Elon Musk give everybody $1 billion? Because he has a net worth of $500 billion. I love these comments I read and the mentality of people, this whole wealth redistribution. But there's a science behind this and things that people don't fully understand because they don't really think things through. One, if Elon Musk was to inject, let's just say $1 million for every taxpayer or registered taxpayer in America. Let's just go on the low end here. That's like 184 million people. So let's say he gives $184 million away, $1 million per taxpayer. What people don't understand is you're not a millionaire. I mean, technically you are. You wake up and you have $1 million in your bank account. But you guys ever heard of hyperinflation? It would completely destroy the American economy if that happened on multiple levels. First, nobody would go to work. I know I wouldn't go to work if I had $1 million sitting in the bank. And our world runs off a transit of people working and moving things around. Food production, food growing, that stuff doesn't come from nowhere. People work a job and, you know, that's how you get your shit. Same with gas prices, everything. So I actually went and asked Grok AI to break down a lot of this information for me about what it projected to and stuff. So if everybody got $1 million in their bank account, gasoline would be about $400 a gallon. Eggs about $40 for a carton of eggs. Housing alone would go through the roof. You're talking about your $400,000 home will now be valued, if you had to purchase a home, at $2.3 million because of the massive influx. And I apologize for the shitty music in the background because that guy's got his window down and he listens to crap. And if you're going to be bumping music, do the world a favor and learn about Creedence Clearwater Revival, some Led Zeppelin, you know, some good stuff. That'd be freaking awesome. So to answer the question of why Elon Musk wouldn't give everybody $1 billion, well, one, it's his money. All right, that's just like, I mean, what's the purpose of people to ever try to strive forward and build up their wealth, start a company, do all the investment and all the headache of running your own company if you just have to turn right around and give away all your money? People are so entitled to shit, it's ridiculous. It really is. This whole wealth redistribution fantasy theory that they've got, it's just people that don't want to do. That's it. So I hope I could break that down for people. The next thing, the economy. People say the economy, well, the government says the economy has never been better. Bullshit. As you guys know, I just recently had hernia surgery. I had an umbilical hernia. I got hurt on the job site where I was working. I work as a field foreman for an ironworking company, welding company, and unfortunately I didn't have a crew that could do the job. I was out there with my superintendent, which should never leave the office, but he's an old iron worker like me. Actually, he's a year younger than I am. We're out there hanging steel while everybody else walks around with a thumb up their ass because they can't weld, they can't use a torch, they can't grind, they can't do anything. You tell them, you know, we're picking up I-beams, putting on our shoulders anywhere from 120 to 200, over 200 pounds. And if the bigger ones, if we didn't have a way of getting a crane in, we'd two-man teamed it up, going up a ladder, all right, 20 foot up in the air, you know, big old extension ladders. Too much weight on these ladders cause them to collapse. But these guys, when you tell them to move a paint can, they go, but it's heavy. Anyway, neither here nor there. When I got hurt, my boss reached out to me and notified me that the company was going under. So I had some time to do some planning and get some preparation done, get some job jobs out, applications and stuff like that. And yeah, the economy's in the shitter right now. Besides being a certified welder, I do stick, MIG, TIG, pipe weld. I used to work out in the oil fields, work in the shipyards, hang steel. Unfortunately, the location I live in, I'm here in Bay County, Florida, near Panama City Beach. There's not much steel work around here as far as companies. You have to travel out of town. Most of the steel industry is gone. What was here is gone. Paper mill's been shut down. The shipyard's still there, and I might have to go back there, to be honest. It's just, I'm 46 and my body is broke up. I've been doing this type of work straight out of high school, and then I went and joined the military. Then when I got out of the military, I went right back into it. So my body's been busted up so many times, I hurt. But I still get the job done. With all that, I'm also a certified mechanic. So today I'm going out to some of these lube shops. You know, like this one here coming up on my left is called Grease Pro. That was actually one of my first legitimate mechanic job over 20 years ago. Is that place right there? I started off as a lube tech, and they realized I wasn't an idiot, and I got moved into the mechanic shop as a tire buster, doing basic tune-ups, and I worked there for a good while before I moved on. But that's what I'm going to be doing today, guys, because I'm in the same boat as y'all. People see me as a YouTuber and go, well, must be nice. I work just like everybody else. That's it. I don't rake in the money that people think I rake in because I'm on YouTube, social media. Are people able to make really good money on social media? Absolutely. Do I make money on social media? I do. I just don't make what people assume I do. I'm talking about a couple $100s a month. Yeah, a couple $100s a month. Well, that helps pay my power bill. And if I do a really good month, it pays my power bill and water bill. Unfortunately, the location I live in, FPL is our power bill company, and you're looking, no matter what, $200 a month. Our water bill, we live in the city of Lynn Haven, is a flat line. No matter what I do, is never below $100. It usually sits about $150 to $180. It's just retarded. I cannot figure it out because we watch what we do, and it's still. All right, so here's an example. When you use the water, it doesn't matter if you're using a water hose out in the yard, water in the garden. They match your water sewage to your water bill, no matter what. So we get charged for sewage too, because we're in the city. So it doesn't matter that I'm actually not putting water back into the septic system, you know, into the city septic sewer system. They just automatically charge us the exact same as the water. Doesn't matter where the water went. So anyway, guys, I am going out. Wish me luck. I've got a lot of mechanic shops I'm going to today. I do have a lineup on a couple welding jobs. Actually, back on the properties I was working for with the company I was a foreman. They're in Owls Beach. Even though the company I worked for has went belly up, there's other companies in the area that's doing the exact same job. So I'll be going out there and speaking with them as well. One of the hardest hitting thing is my pay as a foreman and going to these small lube tech shops. We're talking $10 to $12 decrease on the hour pay. Yeah, where I was making 28 bucks an hour, now I'm looking at a job that if I'm lucky, I'll get paid 18, but usually not. Usually oil changing jobs, you're going to be making like 15, max $16 an hour. When I worked for Tire Kingdom, I was their lead mechanic. My top pay as lead mechanic was $16 an hour, and they didn't have flat rate like I get at the dealerships and stuff like that. And I really don't want to have to go back to the dealerships, ladies and gentlemen, because of the BS drama, the BS bullshit. There we go. I'm just the stuff that they do. They charge people an arm and a leg for a brake job. All right, a brake job. I do a brake job in my yard. for people all the time, and I charge 50 bucks as long as they go buy the parts and material. That's it. You can get the stuff you need for your home brake job, rotors, everything, brakes, for less than a couple $100. New calipers, you're going to do that route, you're talking $400, maybe max $500. You go to the dealership and get the same job done, you're looking at almost $2,000. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And as far as the whole theory of, oh, well, they use their OEM replacement parts, you know, that you're getting the dealership parts. No, you're not. Sometimes you do, but like the company I worked for, Mazda, a while back, they had a problem with their brake pads, that it get the Chewbacca effect. And I'm sorry about my tire noise, guys. I have some aggressive tires on the Tahoe. So the Chewbacca effect is when you hit your brakes, it sounds like Chewbacca going down the road every freaking time. Turns out it's the brake pads themselves. So people would come back and would have to replace the pads with direct imports that they had to order online through another company, and still sell the job as if you got Mazda parts on your car, because that's the whole thing. Mazda, it's just like all the dealerships, you're getting the dealership stuff. But yeah, I worked as a mechanic in all kind of different places, guys. I worked for one that was a used car company. I thought I was going to do better there. Turns out I have too much honor when it comes to working on people's vehicles. When I see zip ties go in place and self-tapping screws going into a vehicle to fix a problem and make things attach, and not changing out parts correctly and throwing the new parts underneath toolboxes and say, just tell the customer we already did it. That's when I say no. One of the things I ran into is they had this airbag modular. It's a bypass system. When you have a problem with your ABS or your airbags, you get a warning light on your vehicle, and it's costly. If you got to start changing out airbags for a used car dealership, it's expensive for the parts. And they came in with this little block that has to plug in. It actually sits underneath the seats of these particular vehicles that I was working on, and they wanted me to bypass the system. It tricks the computer, says everything's fine. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. That's putting people's lives in danger. And then they turn around and try to sell the cars. Oh yeah, everything's good. Watch your ass with used cars, ladies and gentlemen. Especially these pay here, finance here places. Just watch your ass. So I'm heading out, guys. I gotta get my stuff squared away. Thankfully I am a prepper, so groceries are covered. Being on the whole workman's comp stuff, that was a big hit for us because I wasn't allowed to go anywhere else and work. And like I said in my previous videos, here in Florida, you only draw 60% of a 40-hour work week. When I was working as a foreman and hanging steel, I was doing 6 days a week, anywhere from 12 to 14 hours a day. I was making major overtime. But now, those bills caught up quick. So, just like everybody else, guys, get it. You know, we could always come on the internet and complain about there's no jobs, and dude, you are in the wrong freaking lane. Yeah, get back over there. Jesus Christ. Do me a favor, guys, when you are driving, pay attention to what you're doing. Plan your routes out. I'm just blown away by people that they get in a car and then they have no clue where they're going, and they live in the area. Plan your routes out, and it's not that hard. Other news, I saw that we had in our own neighborhood, should be a photo, other people in our neighborhood are starting to build these little cupboards. I'm not going to say charity cupboards, but it's food drops and stuff for people, you know, like they used to do with the old books back in the day, you know, take one, leave one, things like that. I'm seeing more and more. As a matter of fact, we got one just a couple houses down from my house. This particular individual isn't part of my prepping group, but you know, it's nice to see that other people are trying to take a stand up and try to help other people. So that actually made me feel good today to see that. So update, actually I got several job offers. I got to go through all the paperwork and applications and send resumes and all that good stuff. So I decided to go pursue mechanical work, everything from a loop tech to assistant managers. I was offered quite possibly an assistant manager job at a oil change facility. I'll look into that as long as the payment's good. I was offered a part-time job for a oil change place. Don't know about that. If I have to and can't get anything else, I just have to work a couple part-time jobs. Also the dealership. I went to a dealership nearby and spoke to them. Thankfully, I have the certifications. So I'm going to spend the next couple of days going through this and make my phone calls and stuff. So when people tell me there's no jobs available, there are jobs available. They might not be your most choice job. Let's take the example of the oil change place that's only offering me $26 26 hours a week, with the possibility of moving up and running my own store as a GM years down the road. There's work. This goes back to what I've always told people: work on getting a trade. Okay, I have started back in the day working as a cook in restaurants, fly-by-night stuff, grill man. Worked up as an actual shift manager at that. At the age of 15 is when I started doing it. At 16, I was a shift manager just because I worked my ass off. But I recommend learning a trade, mechanic work, welding. I see the comments on the prepping channels and stuff, the truthers. Robots are going to take your jobs. The robots aren't taking my job. The robots are not taking the jobs of mechanics either. We use technology to diagnose cars because that's the way the systems are set up. It makes it easier. And some vehicles, the newer vehicles, you need a computer box on that sucker because you're not going to know what it is. Even with that, you have like 7 different tree programs that it could be. So I encourage you guys. I know it's tough. Trust me, I know it's tough. I went out today and I've got 4 job offers. Is it the best? Well, maybe. Who knows? All right. I encourage you guys to start your own YouTube channel. Even though it's only a couple $100 a month, that's a couple extra $100 a month. Pays your power bill. I'm just saying. All right, guys. Speak to y'all later.